What's up, guys? Welcome back to Disciplined Minds, episode 6 or 7. I don't know. I think it's 6. Today, I want to talk about why change is important. Excuse me if I'm a bit slow. It's like 7:28. I wake up at 6 usually, but I want to talk about change and why it's so important. First, let's talk about why we change. I've seen this so many times where someone gets broken up with, someone breaks up because something happened. They don't get the result that they want, right? Whether it be a job, relationship, a fitness goal, something in this life. And they wonder why. Why did that happen? Why did my ex, who was not over her ex, do that to me? Or why did that girl reject me? And you get to a point where you understand that instead of looking around for that answer, you start looking inwards for that answer. And those problems that you deal with, you realize you're not lacking something because you have everything that you need, but you need to be at this point, but you're at this point. This could be for anything like fitness. It could be for hair growth, looks. It could be intelligence. That is why you change. And I think it's really important to not have something traumatic, but an experience that wills that change. Let's say, for example, let's take one moment of your life, one pivotal moment. You were like, wow, something has to change. In that moment, what did you feel? You didn't feel motivated. You didn't feel disciplined. You didn't feel like, damn, I gotta do this. You felt like absolute garbage. That's okay. But that garbage, you used it as fuel. And that's what really matters, you know? Change is a weird thing. Because at one end, you could change for the worse. And I don't think many people do, but a lot of people do, but I just want to say that, like, change you shouldn't be scared of, you know? But it's needed. It's literally needed for human growth. Do you really think, like, prime Mike Tyson, right? He went to jail. He had a horrible childhood. There was a story about him, like, when he was younger, and a couple kids took his pet bird and took his neck off. It's messed up. But that incident fueled his future endeavors. right? Even me personally, right? I wake up every single day and I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with my parents, right? Because they have a different mindset. They're different people, and we disagree on some things, but it's not the most positive, right? It's always very negative, the negative energy that they bring. But at the moment, I'm like, bro, I just want to explode my brain, right? But that spark, that fuel that I have, I'm taking it, I'm giving it to you, right? So you could use my energy for your change as I have used my energy. When I was younger, my parents were not around as much. I would go to school, um, come back home, and then my parents wouldn't be in the house until like 4 or 5. But when they would, it would be my grandparents, my sister, and then my parents, right? We would all sit around for dinner, and me and my sister would try to talk, just like as a family thing. But we just never talked though, because we tried to talk, and then our parents would be like, they would look at us, and I was like, how's that really a family? Cool. But then after dinner, all we did was just get on our phones or iPads because they were watching TV, so we didn't have really anything to do. And the reason I'm telling you this is that shaped me into a person where I was very individual. I valued my independence. I valued my time. And it showed. It showed in my everyday activities. Like my friends would ask, "Oh, do you want to go out?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to go." But that one point, or the many, many points, but that one specific point in my mind, I was like, man, these people don't like me. I used it for my benefit. I was like, why don't they like me? Why don't they want to talk? And I understood that it's not me, it's them, obviously. But that actual point of change for me was actually talking to other people, because I was like, man, I don't think anybody wants to talk. But now I look around and I've built a circle, but I was still that one kid that didn't talk. So I'm wondering, how the hell did I just do that? I don't know. You don't really see like all these famous people's backstories. You don't know what the shit they've been through. And I promise you, each and every single one has been through shit, because they're human. You go through shit, like you get broken up with, you have horrible parents, had a horrible childhood, not financially stable, you've been homeless. These are actual real struggles, but what they did was they took those struggles, and instead of putting it inside and letting it just brew up, they made a sword out of it and started fighting their battles, and they started winning, if that makes sense. I'm not saying like traumatic experiences are good for you, but I'm saying once you've accepted and felt everything that you needed, to use those experiences for your own growth. Imagine we didn't grow, right? Like, imagine you were always 7 years old. How boring would that be? You're just 7 years old always. You can't even like, I don't know if you're into that, but you can't even drink, you can't even like drive a car, you can't travel. You're 7 years old. Imagine you were always 7 years old. You're always stuck in that one position. You're about like this high. Would you always want to be 7 years old? Absolutely not. You want to like grow and expand and have new experiences. It's the same thing with change. If you're not growing and constantly expanding, you're not just stagnant, you're actually just decreasing what you could have been. There's no such thing as staying stagnant. It's only just getting better or getting worse. And that's the scary part of change, though. But it's always needed. And the sooner you realize, the better. And some people realize it when they're 40, some people realize it when they're 20, or some people realize it when they're 16, when their PC is about to get thrown out the window because they got a B in like math. That was me. I remember laying on the floor because I was helpless. I think it was 15. And then my dad took my PC and he was about to throw it out the window after like he slapped me or whatever. And I was just there, just thinking like, okay, you can throw my PC, you can hurt me, but just don't hurt like the other people in the house, you know? Eventually he did not take out my PC, but it was close. Like the window was right here. It was right here, but and I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't have the tools to deal with it. So I just kind of went on with life. I was just like, okay, this happened, I guess. Let's move on. But that's not how you should do it. You should give your brain a break and think about what happened and feel out those emotions. But once you do, take that gem, take that experience, take that trauma, and put it to work. If you're not putting it to work, you're wasting your cookies. That's about all I had to say. You know, change is scary, but it's definitely needed in all humans, no matter what. If you're not changing and constantly growing, just even at an exponential rate, but the rate is looking like all the way here, still good, you're still improving. That's all I had to say. Bit of a messy video, I know, but I hope I got my point across. One thing I do want to mention though is to have change, you gotta have structure, and to have structure, you gotta understand the ideas and what you're actually building. Personally, for me, what I did, I instilled the KM method, which is just having a killer mindset. KM, killer mindset. And what this essentially is without going, I'll just give it to you 100%, as going, this is a mine, it's inverted, but wake up at 6, I wake up at 6, straight down, get push-ups. I think I did 35 today. I usually do 30, but then I take a cold shower, then I pray and slash meditate, then I read a book, of a couple books. This is Influence, Atomic Habits, and Meditations over there by Marcus Aurelius. Aurelius? I don't know. But that's just the morning routine. That's just one piece of the killer mindset. What essentially the killer mindset is, another point, is you have two voices inside of you, right? This is how I changed my literal mindset, by the way. This is in action. Training the bigger voice not to negotiate. So let's say you're going to the gym, right? Or you're debating going to the gym. You're in that bed and you're out cold. All you want to do is just sleep, right? I get it. Man, today I did not want to get up. I had this weird dream of like time was 4 p.m. or a.m. or something, and I was wondering when to get up. Anyway, I was sleeping in that bed. I was so like comfortable. I was so comfortable. And it was 6:05. I started to debate just for a few seconds. I was like, man, should I get up? This is so comfortable. My like entire body is warm. It's a bit cold. Man, just 2 hours won't hurt. But then my training paid off. And those two voices, the little guy inside me, which is talking about maybe I should sleep a little more. You know, it won't hurt. Might as well. It's summer. But then the bigger voice, the new identity you're building and I'm building, not even like, I think 2 to 5 seconds, says, nope. It doesn't even argue. It just, nope. That's it. Nope. There's no discussion. It's just, nope. Let's get to push-ups. I woke up, made my bed, and I started on those push-ups. Once you do those push-ups, you're gone. You're on to the next thing. And that next thing, for me, I don't know, you guys, it's inverted. I apologize. Push-ups, I go downstairs, take a cold shower, I pray and read, or pray and then read. And then once I do 3 hours of work, I eat breakfast. Now that is the KM killer mindset. That's just like a little bit of it, but that's like the premise. And if you really want to learn how to implement it into your life, because everybody is, subjective, that have subjective lives, obviously, but it's different for everyone. But I think everyone could take it and actually use it to change, because this is based off of my life circumstances and my past experiences, believe it or not. So if you really want to, implement it into your life, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll leave it in the description. But sorry, I went off topic a little bit. But that's what we do, This is just me and you. And if I could help just one person change their life, once this changes, remember, this changes. So if I change it, I'm happy. But yeah, just to conclude, change is 100% needed, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what struggles you have, you always have the option to change. And I truly believe that every single person that's watching this video, out of the 5 or the 10 people that's actually started to watch this video from start to finish, I believe you can do it, because there's nothing stopping you. There's only self-sabotage. But instead of self-sabotage, you should use it to self-boost. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say without going off on a random tangent. But yeah, if you need any help, or you want to see my methods in action and actually take control of your life, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll send a voice memo and we'll go from there. See ya.